Hey there folks, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Got the chainsaw out and man, this really breaks my heart to have to do this. So we're up here in the equipment yard with the red Yoda. Let me set my saw down real quick. And what we're gonna be doing today is prepping the site for the mega shop, okay? So I've gone around and I've marked everything for the mega shop, where it's gonna go, the footprint of the mega shop, and today is the day when we start cutting trees, dropping trees, and getting ready to do the final grade for the mega shop. So it's gonna be a good time, gonna be fun, but there are a few trees. We're gonna walk you guys all the way around this entire area and explain to you exactly what we're doing so we can get this cleared out on a budget. So, and I will tell you in just a minute, I just got an estimate for my concrete work. Oh, boo, mind blower. Good stuff. So come along, let's have some fun. We're gonna be putting the chainsaws to work, dropping a few trees that will go on the sawmill and make some great firewood. Awesome. Welcome back to the Stoney Ridge Farm channel. If this is your first time here or your 50 millionth time here, please pound that like button, jump in, subscribe to the channel. This is a first generation farm project here in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina, and I have some work ahead of me and a huge expense. So this piece of property is a 150-acre farm. It's a first-generation farm, meaning nothing at all was here other than a big briar patch. There was no buildings, there was no house, there was no well, there was nothing here whatsoever. And here we stand on a 1-acre piece of gravel with a shipping container, a tractor shed, all sorts of fun stuff. So great stuff going on the channel. Living my dream here in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, and we're raising cows. So all the fences are built. The cows will be over here probably about the time that the building goes up, and they'll be having babies. So what I found on the farm, and this is why we're doing this, is that I totally outgrew this building. I have 2 of these metal carport type buildings and I outgrew them. This is what I call the tractor shed. In here is a couple TYM tractors, the John Deere 5065 ATV Ventrac tractor, the 0-turn that I mow the yard with, and I also keep the Gale 210 in here. And I keep other tractors in here. I'm running out of space is what the deal is. So what we're getting ready to embark upon is a monumental build. This monumental build is not only a farm building, it's going to be a potential home site. In other words, it may be barndominium. It's going to be how do I say this? It's going to be the shop for the farm. It's also going to be where I work on stuff. It's also going to have a little butcher shop in there so that we can butcher our hogs and our chickens right up here in an awesome space. And hopefully, eventually we'll be able to hold classes here on the farm to show you guys how to do this stuff on your own. Now, that being said, the building is going right here. I've been working my butt off for the last 3 days or so, moving a bunch of stuff that I had stored up here. All that stuff is back here. Logs and stuff that I pulled out of an old log cabin so we can use those for decoration and stuff on the in the inside of this building. Just all sorts of stuff. Fencing material too. I've been delivering fencing material all over the farm. We've got another 2.5 miles of fence to build. Lots of fun. So I've gone around today and I flagged off the spot where the building is gonna go. So this is the corner of the building. The building is 112 feet long by 50 feet deep. So this is the 50-foot mark right here. In order to put this building up, there are a lot of trees that are really close that pose a huge danger to this building, not only from the leaves that would get in the gutters, and we'll probably put gutter guards on, but trees that will blow over and fall over and damage the building. So I've got to take out several of these trees. This stuff is great for firewood. It's also good to put on our Wood Miser sawmill, and the sawmill shed will be right there, okay? So awesome, awesome stuff. We'll be harvesting a log out of this tree. It's a red oak. There'll probably be all firewood out of that, and that is a willow oak. There's a couple trees in here that it really breaks my heart to cut them. Guys, it really breaks my heart, and I'll take you over and show you those. This is a maple that is stump growth. In other words, all these sprouts, these sprigs grew out from a stump. I've got to drop every single one of these, okay? All of them have to hit the ground. What do you see on the ground right here? Rocks, tons of rocks. So we can't get back into the woods right here. We don't want to get back into here, because if we do, we're gonna run into rocks, and that is gonna make the land very, very difficult to do the final grade on. This is the final grade area. It's just about perfectly flat. I've been working at this for a very long time. The trees that I hate to cut, I saved these trees. I didn't cut these trees when we cut the timber on the farm. This is a wild cherry tree. Really, really hate to cut this tree. This is not big enough really to go on the sawmill. It's just kind of a waste. That's just it. And the last but not least trees that I don't want to cut, it just totally breaks my heart, are these two guys right here. These are the biggest persimmon trees that we have on the farm, and I gotta cut them. And it breaks my heart to do it. But we've got to get some trees on the ground. We've got to get this mess cleaned up, and our grading contractor will be here very shortly. Now, you might wonder like, hey, Josh, why are you getting a grading contractor in here when you've got a skid loader that you can do the work? I will be doing most of the work. However, he's the expert with the laser. He's gonna help me pick this up and move it right over there. So it'll still be a tractor shed, but it's not gonna be right here because the building's actually gonna be on it. So there's a flag right behind the skid loader. There's a flag right over there, one flag back here, and then one flag over on this side of the tractor shed. I gotta clean all this stuff. This is just a lot of running and cleaning. So there's another flag right here. I've got equipment to move out of here, all this stuff. That tree will be just fine, thank goodness. And that's a white oak. White oaks are really stout, really good trees. And there's going to be a second floor balcony for me to put stuff in the upstairs of this building. It's gonna be a double door, and I'll probably have a deck built out right up in that tree. So you'll just about be up in the tree. Really, really cool. Might even double as a deer stand. So without further ado, I gotta get busy. We gotta start dropping trees. All I'm gonna do today, my plan, is to cut the trees, buck them up into links, and we'll load them on the dump truck probably tomorrow, take them up to the neighbors. I don't burn firewood all the time, but there's a multitude of firewood throughout the farm. So we got work to do, we gotta drop, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, heartbreak, such a heartbreak. Those are going on the sawmill. By the way, I'm gonna utilize every single bit of that persimmon tree I possibly can. I wanna see how gorgeous that lumber is. I hear it's yellow. That's what we gotta do. So we've got about 15 trees to drop. I gotta get busy, sun's going down. We're always running out of daylight, and we're always rushing here on the Stoney Ridge. Guys, pound the like button before we get started. Let's get busy, taking the trees down, making room for the mega shop. Woo! It's very important to get out of the way of a falling tree. This one's about to go. One more little tap. Guys, you might wonder, why in the world is Stoney Ridge Farmer cutting these big, beautiful trees? Well, what you really need to know is that these trees have to go. They could blow over on my new building and destroy my investment. And also, leaves are just the enemy. They're just the enemy of any building. Water damage is a huge factor when you get leaves in the gutter. So it's just a matter of being able to take care of this brand new building appropriately. Whew. All right, that's 10 minutes. That's one tree down. This tree right here, that will be firewood. That will go in the sawmill. Being that these trees are really close to the buildings and to the woods right here, and also to the old tobacco barn over there, they may have nails in them. So I'll go over them with a metal detector. That's one tree pretty much done. I just scoop up the brush and we'll get that in a future video. Now we gotta drop these two critters. This one fell, no problem, absolutely perfect. So we'll get those two out of the way. Then we'll move on to here. We'll drop the persimmons, and then we'll drop the last but not least, the big old maple. Now you might be wondering, well, why in the world is Josh dropping all these trees all at once? Why don't you drop one, cut it up, drop another, cut it up, drop another, cut it up? Well, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna drag the tops out of these trees. We're gonna put them in a big brush pile and or chip up the wood and blow it out into the cow pasture so that we build some soil, we build biomass. And what I'm trying to do here is save as much as I possibly can for the sawmill. Guys, the saws we're using today are the Stihl MS660 or 661, which is a beast of a saw, and we're using the Husqvarna 572 XP. just like work, man. That's a lot of work right there. Whew. No gym today. Now that's a job right there, man. And the real work is yet to come. So I've got to go ahead and start bucking this stuff up, get the brush out of it, get the brush over into a big brush pile. I may put the wood chipper on the tractor and chip up all this brush. However, the wood chipper versus oak brush is a little bit harsh, and we do slash piles in the middle of the pasture so that the cows will have a little something to consume, some ash to consume to help prevent worming the cows. I will say I didn't even get the Husqvarna out. This 661 from Stihl was a beast of a saw. If you've ever had one of these in your hand, if you ever go into a Stihl dealer, pick one of these up and you'll feel my pain. This is a heck of a saw. It is a heavy, it's a big saw. It really is. It's not an all day, everyday carry saw, but I think it suits me. I'm a big guy, about 6'5", and I think it suits me pretty good. Love it. We'll set it down here. I've got a little bit of work to do. As you can see, I'll get in here and start lopping off all these limbs. I'll take the little skid steer right here, the little peanut, my gel, and I'll scoop out all this stuff, put it in a brush pile over here. Most likely just burn all that stuff up. Anything that can be used for firewood will be put to use as firewood, but man, what a chore. Check, chore number one done. There is one hanger. I've got one tree that's stuck up there. It was a dead white oak, and it got hung up in another tree, so I don't know about that. The wind will probably take care of that tonight. I'll avoid going in that direction, and if I have to, I'll just go over there once I get all this mess up and bump it with the forks or the bucket on the skid loader. I want to keep my distance though. That's a dangerous, very dangerous thing. They call it a widowmaker for a reason. Wear your safety gear when you're cutting stuff like this. One whop on the head will put you in the emergency room in a heartbeat, and also put you in a coma, and nobody wants a brain injury, guys. So thanks a lot for joining me. We're making progress towards the mega shop. Good gracious, $78,000 for the concrete work. Ooh. I'm way over budget, but it'll be worth it, I hope. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next time on the Stoney Ridge when I'm cleaning this mess up, loading up logs, taking them to the sawmill. We'll mill up those logs. We'll give the neighbors firewood. It's gonna be awesome. See y'all. Woo! Come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge. Then get a good camera angle here. See how get yeah, boy, that's good, boy. Whoop, whoop. It is not cold anymore. I've got a sweaty booty. See y'all.